The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, "Stay awake, because you do not know the day when your master is coming. You may be quite sure of this, that if the householder had known at what time of the night the burglar who comes, he would have stayed awake and would not have allowed anyone to break the wall of his house. Therefore, you too must stand ready, because the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. What sort of servant then is faithful and wise enough for the master to place him over his household to give them their food at the proper time? Happy that servant if his master's arrival finds him at this proper time. I tell you solemnly, he will place him over everything he owns. But as for the dishonest servant who says to himself, 'My master is taking his time,' and sets about beating his fellow servants and eating and drinking with drunkenness, his master will come on a day he does not expect, and at an hour he does not know. The master will cut him off and send him to the same fate as the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and grinding of teeth." The Gospel of the Lord.
Just imagine that from the time we were born, like on your birth certificate, you knew exactly the day you would die. That it was written the day you were born, and then just like on a passport is written, your expiry date is written, the day you are going to die. What will you do when it's maybe 2 weeks to the time before you die? Think about that. What will you do? Will you become very violent? Will you start to revenge? Will you want to do, or will you want to repent? And I just want you to imagine that. Before I come back to that, I remember when I was about 14, I am not so sure how old I was. And we were still in Cameroon at the time. And one evening, my dad, I don't know what happens to him, whether he drank a lot of beer or what, but that evening, he just, and I consider it a trauma for a young man like me, he just wanted to teach us what you can do if a thief attacks. He has never gone for any criminology course or anything, but he just wanted to teach us what will you do, what you can do if a thief attacks. And I remember he was vividly, I remember this very well, how he was trying to tell us that if a thief appears and you see him, you hide behind something, and you make sure you have some stones, you hit him the first time, and then you hide. And then when he's still wondering to see where he is, you hit him the second time, and by the time he's getting confused, you use a stick or something to hit him. It's very simple what he said. And that night, I remember all of us, because we are so traumatized by this, is something going to happen or what? Everybody was trying to get his own weapon, others getting bamboos, others getting big sticks and things like that, and others getting machetes. And we were all hanging those things on the windows and big rocks like this. And then just 2 days after that, I don't know, maybe somebody left fire without putting it out at night. And we were all asleep, and then suddenly we got a noise, and that was from my dad. He had gone out to ease himself, and he saw fire was already coming out. And all of us got up with our stones, others picking stones and picking things. And we thought this is a thief that has come, and everybody is trying to hide and try to stone. But this was just fire. Now, what my dad forgot to tell us is that if you have to guard against a thief, you have to stay awake. You don't have to sleep. He taught us how you can attack or to defend yourself against somebody who is coming in. But that presupposes like you are awake and you are staying and looking at him coming. What he did not teach us is that if you have to defend against somebody coming into your house, you have to stay awake. You cannot sleep. Because if you sleep, the person will just come and snatch those things from your windows and start hitting you with them and use your own weapon against you. If you have to defend yourself, then you must stay awake. And this is the analogy that Jesus uses in the gospel of today. He says that that day would come like a thief in the night. And if it comes like a thief in the night, then it will come at a time when we do not expect. And that is the unfortunate thing about our life, that we do not have expiry dates on our birth certificates. We do not know the exact day we are going to die. And that is why when I asked you that question, everybody is imagining what it would be like, if you knew that in 2 weeks' time, exactly 2 weeks, at about 12 noon or 10 past 12, you are going to die, you are going to transit to another life. I'm sure you will have time to repent, to think about your life, to make amends with each other, to try to forgive those who have hurt you in life, to try to make things right. But the unfortunate thing is that we do not know. So how can we be ready? There is just one way out. We don't have to sleep with our weapons, waiting for things to hit and then we start to defend ourselves. No. We have to stay awake. And what does it mean to stay awake? That we have to be ready at all times. If there is any forgiveness you have to do, then the time is now. If you have to love and be generous to your brother or your sister, the time is now. If you have to give time to your prayer life, then you don't wait for it tomorrow to say that I'm going to do it tomorrow. Because of the fact that we do not know. Yesterday and today in the evening, I'll be going for Mass for one boy who was, I'm sure all of you heard about that over the news, that in Smallville, in a hotel just here, who was shot at the age of 20. Just imagine he goes out in the night and doesn't know that that was his expiry date. That is the end of his life. And he goes out having fun with his friends. And things happen. It might not be necessarily that he was the target. Maybe it was just a stray bullet or something. And it hits him and it's gone. No photocopy. There's no Xerox of our lives that you say, no, this one is gone, I can use that one. No. It's just one chance. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, if there are things that we have to do, the time is now. If there is any forgiveness that we have to do, the time is now. If there is an attitude that we have to change in our lives, we don't have to wait for tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month. The time is now. And Jesus says in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 25, verse 13, you must stay awake, for you know neither the day nor the hour. This is the wisdom that is not given to the rich or to the learned. This is the wisdom that Jesus talks about in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11, verse 25, when he says that this is hidden from the wise and the learned and is revealed to mere children. It is only through an act of humility, knowing that we are not in control of our lives, that we can learn to know that our lives are in God's hands. And therefore, He didn't reveal to us the day we are going to die. And that is why we have to be ready at all times. We have to stay awake at all times. for the precise reason that we do not know the day nor the hour.